All right, we're back here in studio. It's time to talk about the Greensburg-Decatur County Public Library, and we have Mrs. Lori Durbin here
Good
to tell us
morning.
everything that's going on at the library.
Everything library related, right?
Yes.
We have, oh my gosh, so many things going on at the library. Just a couple of things that are not program related necessarily, but I don't know if our director, Vanessa Martin, took a new position a little closer to home and a little more suited to where she is in her life. You know how that happens. We all make changes that suit us better. And so we are without a director at the moment. I'm serving as interim director just until we actually find someone who has the education, of course, to do that. And there have been some interviews, and we're on the right path, I think. But we're also looking, our bookkeeper is Steve Brown, and I don't know if you know Steve, but Steve is in his 80s. He is a dynamic go-getter kind of guy he does so many things, and he's decided that maybe after 48 years with the library, that maybe it's time for him to, and other full-time jobs at the same time, that it's time to maybe move on to do something different too. And so we have a call out for people applying for our bookkeeper position, which is part-time. And so on top of all of that, we have October's a crazy busy filled month because we have a fall break and lots of things for the kids going on. I'm going to mention, Tom, some of the just major things. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I know from speaking to some people, and I don't know where you are age-wise. I know we're close, but it's time for me to file for Medicare. Mm-hmm. You got to do that within a certain window. The things you don't know, they tell you about as you're growing up. They never tell you about these things that you have to know, but it's time for that for me now. And so I also have heard from people that there are a lot of changes being made in the Medicare system and the way things are working with insurance companies and that kind of thing. So we have James Ritchie with the Medicare Resource Center. He's coming tomorrow at 10 to do sort of an informational presentation about the updates with Medicare. And so we are asking that people register. It's not a have to. Walk-ins are absolutely welcome. But I do think that he will have some information that many of us are going to need to know. And so I would highly recommend, he's been to the library before, and we've had several people in to do this kind of programming. He just happens to be one that keeps coming back for us. And so that's tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And then we have several programs coming up that are kind of new. We're doing an adult chair yoga class. We're going to try to make this something that is something that we do on a rotating basis or on a routine basis. So we're going to try to get some exercise in for some people. There are 12 seats available for that. And so if people are interested in the adult chair yoga classes, they're going to want to see that. That is, I just lost my place. Let me go scroll back through here. That is on Friday morning at 10:30. And then you can hear a little bit more about what when that's going to happen on a routine basis. And then on Monday, because it is the beginning of some of those spring, not spring, look at me waiting for spring. It isn't even fall yet, and I'm ready for spring. Anybody who knows me knows that that's really true. We have our preschool Bluey pajama party. And it looks right now like it might be fully booked, but if you are interested in that, by all means, get your name on the waiting list, because if we can make room for people, we always do. We have a teen program on Monday also at 1 o'clock, and the teens are doing a creepy cupcake creations.
All right.
So if you can say creepy cupcake creations 3 times fast, they'll let you in the door. No, I'm just kidding. Teen programs are for students in grades 6 to 12. Another one of our adult programmers, Karen, is putting together a program for Monday evening at 5:30. It's the Drop-In Stitch Away Stigma program, and it's basically a place for you to knit, crochet, sew a variety of items that are kind of on a list, and then those items are shipped off to a host program, which is the Stitching Away Stigma program. And those items that you make are then used to help fellow Hoosiers. And so there will be sewing machines and patterns for hats and scarves and drawstring bags, that kind of thing. Bring your material with you. We'll be doing some light refreshments, but it is to help combat substance abuse and or substance use disorder, and make it possible for people to reach out for the things that they need, comfort, care, maybe some rehab ability, that kind of thing. And so those donations all go out to the Stitching Away Stigma program, which is like a statewide program. So it's kind of a cool thing to be able to add something to that. If you are a person who sews, if you're not a person who sews, I know, because I am not, the drawstring bags are really simple. And so I feel like that's something anyone can do. So if it's something that you're interested in, you're interested in the program itself, or you want to learn a little bit more about sewing, or, give it a try, this is a good spot to do that. We also have a preschool play day for the children's room, Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And they're just going to do a free play. They have Play-Doh and Legos and simple crafts, that kind of thing. And just somewhere for the kids to go, during that fall break time frame. And also on Tuesday, we're doing a tween program at 5 o'clock. And they're making a monster meal. They're going to do a creatively, monstrously delicious meal.
Sounds good.
So I don't know what that's going to involve. I know, back in the day when we had little Halloween parties, there might be spaghetti and grapes and that kind of thing, so they feel creepy or whatever. But I think this is more of an actual a meal that you can put together and enjoy. And then on Wednesday, they're doing a live action version of Lilo and Stitch. That's a family movie, and that's at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Popcorn is provided. Bring your own drink. We have bingo at Westport on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. There are prizes for the winners, fun for everybody. Again, on Wednesday, I'm telling you, every single day is filled with fun things to do. Wednesday at 1 o'clock, the teens are having an anime day, and they're going to watch a super short or a short video tutorial, and they're going to get artsy and sort of draw some Pokemon characters. So kind of a fun, got to catch them all. Yeah. Sort of program. We're still doing our walk with the doc on Wednesdays at 5:15. We're also doing the Get Walkin' with the Purdue Extension Office on Friday mornings at 9:30. And then on Friday, the 17th at 6 o'clock is our big Bats and Books program. I just want you to know that this is the 25th year for Bats and Books.
Wow.
And when I started that 25 years ago, I just found a picture the other day. I dressed as the Cat in the Hat for our very first Bats and Books program. We held it outdoors, and it was a ton of fun. And so the next year we thought we'd move it indoors because we weren't sure about weather, and the kids got it's hard to watch the kids in the dark, that kind of thing. And so we moved it indoors, and we've been going strong ever since. This time there's going to be a bounce house as long as the weather is okay. It is a family program, so if you want to come in your costumes, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, kids, neighborhood kids, bring them all. And everybody can wear their costumes, and it's kind of a safe spot to play some games, get some treats, wear your costume, have a little bit of fun. Kind of like, that Halloween is supposed to be a lot of fun, and so that's kind of what we're doing at the library. We have a teen program on Monday the 20th. It's a take and make, and you'll just stop by and pick up your kit to make a mini pumpkin cat. And Sherry always does the cutest crafts for the teens. So that's something that if you're interested in crafting or just having something to do during that fall break time, this is a good place to do that. We have family game night at Westport on the 20th of October. That's at 5:30. That same night in Greensburg, we have succession planning with the Purdue Extension Office. And we are still hosting our In Stitches drop-in group every other Monday. That one is on Monday the 20th, and that is just where you bring your yarn, your crochet, your knit, your needlework, anything like that that you do, embroidery, and just kind of all work together as a group and chat and what women used to do way back in the day when they all got together and they're like coffee clatch kind of thing. And so doesn't have to be women, crafty folks.
That's
so
true.
if you're a guy who really enjoys the needle arts, I think this is a good spot for you. If that's something that you're kind of into and you want to learn more, we've got some people who've been doing it a long time that come, and they'll give you all the help and expertise. And then on the 21st, we're partnering with the Decatur County Health Department for a flu vaccine clinic. So from 9:45 until 11 a.m. on the 21st, you can stop by the library and get your flu vaccine. And then I'm telling you, I could just keep going over and over. I'm going to skip a couple of little things and mention we are also partnering with Human Services. We got a phone call several weeks ago. Human Services budget does not allow them to mail out their applications this year as they have done in the past. We all know budgets have been cut pretty severely, and so they were looking for a location where they could both hand out applications and then also give people assistance in getting those filled out. And they will be there all day, sans the lunch hour, from 9 until 4. And so if you are a person who needs energy assistance, by all means come by the library, pick up your form. If you need help filling that form out, Human Services will be there to help you do that. Again, we all know that people are sort of struggling, and so this is another great way for the library to partner with an organization to get people the help that they need. Yeah. If you can't make it on that Wednesday, give us a call, and I'll see if I can maybe have some of them held so people could pick them up at the library, that kind of thing. If you don't need assistance, you just need to pick yours up. We'll see what we can do. I'm sure that's something we can work out. And let's see, our Pinterest project of the month is a little wood pumpkin truck. We're going to paint a little farm-style truck that you can fill with little foam pumpkins and decorate your home with. That's at 1 o'clock and 5:30 on the 23rd. What else? We're doing a lunchtime matinee on the 24th, which is a Friday. And Lacey will be showing Edward Scissorhands, so just in time also for Halloween. She likes to revisit some of the older movies, and she's kind of eclectic in what she chooses. So it's kind of fun to see what kind of things she picks out to show.
It's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. It's one of those, if you haven't seen Johnny Depp in that particular movie, he's so different from all the other things that he's done, and so it's a good one actually. I think it has a kind of a nice message that, just because you have scissors for hands doesn't necessarily mean you're an outcast. True. You can find your spot. It seems difficult. I mean, just doing anything with scissors for hands, but he figured it out. Obviously, I could use a haircut, so maybe he can stop by. On the 25th, on Saturday, we have our Otaku Club, which is our anime club for adults. If you like anime and that particular culture, and you like trying new foods and just hanging out with people that are like-minded, that is on Saturday from 11 to 12:45. And another teen program, they are showing the Halloween tree as a movie. And again, they're gonna make their own Halloween tree, watch the movie, bring your own drink, popcorn is provided. And our Work One Southeast Job Fair, we partner with Work One as well to help people find jobs, and they come in with their the agencies that are looking for people to work, and you can talk to those individual businesses, fill out applications, find out what you need to do to be involved with them in finding a job. And then we're kind of heading up to the end of the month. They are doing a Storytime costume party at Westport on the 29th at 10 o'clock. So that's their regular Storytime, but they're doing a costume party. Again, it's hard sometimes to find a place to take your kids in their costumes that, doesn't have them running all over the streets. And you can instead be kind of in a safe location. They have a homeschool program on the 29th. They're talking about bats and that's Wednesday the 29th at 1 o'clock. And then again, still have story time and toddler time. And then we also have kind of our very last program for Halloween, or with that whole theme in mind. We are doing cemeteries, from headstone readings to Indiana room research. So basically, if you are a person who is trying to research your family genealogy and you're finding headstones hard to read, you can, Russell Wilhoit, who is our Decatur County historian, and our library historian, Jennifer Leach, will be working together, and they'll be giving you some advice on how to read those headstones. And then from there, how do you take that back into the Indiana Room and some of our genealogy research sites to find out more about your family's history.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so just a wealth of things happening. The library is always busy. And of course, then we also have, just a place for you to hang out if you need a place to come and be for a while, or you need, if it's really hot and you need a place to get cool, or if it's really cold, you need a place to get warm. And, the library is that place where you can come and nobody says, what can I sell you? What can I, convince you to buy? That kind of thing. We just welcome everybody in. And if you have suggestions on programs, materials that you think we should have at the library, we do have a really nice collection of games that we're checking out now. And as we start to get into the cooler months and people are starting to find themselves indoors, I think those games, which have already been popular, but we have everything from Candyland to Exploding Kittens, chess to Trouble. I just can't. We have a lot of the kind of classic traditional games, and then some of the quirkier ones that may be kind of new games. We have some 2-player games if it's just you and one other person, and we have some that you can play. We just purchased Life because that was kind of a request. People were looking for the game of Life. It was a struggle because that's the game I really don't like. I don't like playing it. My grandchildren love it, and so whenever they're there, we're playing Life or Monopoly, both of which are not my favorite. Yeah. But we do have things for everybody, and so we've gotten a couple of, like I said, games that maybe you haven't heard of, and just as simple as a deck of cards. If you just want to check out a deck of cards, and we'll have some sheets of different games you can play with just a deck of cards and the instructions on how to do that. So
that's
you can
great.
Take those home with you and give you something to do in the cooler months.
You talked about the yoga. I did a 10-week session of chair yoga through VA. It's incredible. It's amazing what you get out of a very, very low impact exercise. Amazing what the results can be from that.
And this is a chair yoga also. And so the good thing about that is, like you're saying, is that low impact. So if you are a person who has bad knees or you have back issues, that kind of thing, this is really well tailored. But even if you're not a person who has any physical limitations, chair yoga, like you said, is still... It really still targets a lot of those same muscles, that same ability to stay flexible. I think I'm personally going to clock out and actually take the class myself because I need to do some things. And I find it really difficult to go home after work and dive into that. You almost have to have like you said, that 10 weeks of going every day and like you're focusing on it. And that's kind of what we're looking for. I know we've had people ask. The walking programs have gone over really well. The new trail has made that really nice for us over at the library for people to be able to walk on that trail. And sometimes just the camaraderie of having someone else to walk with or someone else to laugh with, when you're doing chair yoga and, you feel like you look ridiculous because we always feel we look ridiculous when we're doing things like that. And so just having somebody else to kind of hang out with and make new friends. Sometimes that's another bonus of doing some sort of a social activity where there are people you don't know, is you might meet new friends. And we find that, I know I read an article the other day about why it's so difficult for adults to make new friends. And it's true. It's very, very hard. as you get to be older, to find, people move away, people move on to other things in their lives. Unfortunately, people pass on. And so sometimes it's really hard to make new friends. And so the library is really a good place to do that, both for that mom demographic that has little kids, because you can go be at story time and meet other people, but also for, we've had several really close friendships come from our from all of the adult programming that we do at the library. So it's
also wanted to ask you if there's people that have books that they've had for a while that they've read and just don't need them anymore. Is there any way for people to donate books to the library?
That is a really good question, and I'm glad that you asked it, because it is a question that we get a lot. As of right now, we do not have enough people in our friends group to continue to do our book sales. So what we're doing now is we do have the little free library in front of the building. You're welcome to add your books there. We will take, we don't have a lot of storage space, but we will take, like, if you have nice paperbacks, we can take those. Again, those will end up in the little free library, or they may end up in our, we have like a revolving rack of books that you don't have to have a library card to check out, because we do have people who are transient from one county to the other that don't have a library card for one reason or another, and those books are good for them. We don't take large donations because we simply don't have any place to put those. Okay. But if you have, a handful of paperbacks or something like that, I wish that we had a strong friends group. If that is something that you have been interested in and you would love to be involved with that, it's kind of a minimal expectations. We used to hold like quarterly book sales, and then that money all went back into programming. So not only are we missing the ability to get rid of material, both for the library and then also for people who want to make donations, we are also not raising that same amount of money that we used to for programming. Right. So a friends group would be amazing. We have a core group, but there's just not enough of them to keep everything going. We do have a book sale area, but we are only allowed to sell the books that taxes and all the other things that go into, there's always rules, unfortunately and fortunately, I suppose. So we can only sell books that we've taken off of our shelves, but that money does also go back into programming. So if you're, on the lookout for books to take someplace with you, or you don't want to borrow them from the library, you want to buy a few, we do have a book sale in the back area of the library now where you can purchase books. But I wish we had more ability to do book donations, because I think a lot of people would like to do that.
Yeah. Well, if people have questions about programs that are going on at the library, how can they find out more?
Well, they can call the library, 812-663-2826. You can ask for me. Our adult programming coordinator is Lacey Gibson. She's always taking suggestions or ideas. Then we also, our children's librarian is Amy Swihart, and if you have, or teen librarian is Sherry Rabideau, and she will take teen information or teen suggestions. If you wanted to donate money, or you want to purchase a book in honor of someone or in memorial of someone, that is something that you could also do. That's available on our website, which is greensburglibrary.org. And then it gets a plate in it that says, in memory of or in honor of. And we have people who do that on a routine basis. But if you just want to make a donation in general for general library programming or general library needs, that's how we ended up with our Sally Crane Memorial Story Walk. Mrs. Crane passed away several years ago and made a nice donation, and so we were able to fund the Story Walk down at Rebecca Park with that money, which was it would have been very difficult to do otherwise, and so that was a really nice legacy that she left behind, and she loved to read and walk, and so it was a nice memorial for her. So there are lots of ways, and you can always just call me, ask for me at the library. I'm happy to put you in touch with the right person or answer the questions myself, whatever I need to do to get you what you are interested in knowing more about. Absolutely can do that for you. We have a really good genealogy, history librarian now, Jennifer, and she's working with the Historical Society, and she does a lot of really cool displays and different things in our library. That's been a very, very wonderful addition to what we have with our Indiana room, because she's pulling out things that people have never seen before, making sure that our archives are being protected, working. She has a museum background, and so she's making sure that we're keeping things in the conditions that they should be for future generations. There are so many things happening. The only way to really know everything that's going on is to stop in. Stop by the library and see what we might have to offer you. You might not even, I wish I had I'm at the library 27 years now, and I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody said, I didn't know you had fill in the blank. Because I could like add a wing to the library with the money I would have earned in that amount of time, because people are always amazed that I didn't know that you did that. I didn't know that you had streaming books for free. I didn't know I could use my phone and my library card and listen to audiobooks or read ebooks for free. That's still something that people aren't as aware of as we need for them to be, is that we do have Libby and Hoopla. So if you have a need for that and you're not sure how to go about that, stop in. We'll help you walk through that process. We also have a streaming service called Canopy, and Canopy is they have documentaries and films, different kinds of movies, kind of an eclectic collection of things. So there might be something there that you'd be interested in. Our Library Speakers Consortium is a way for you to listen to author talks. You can watch those in real time, or you can go back to the Speakers Consortium and listen to anything that's been done in the past at your own convenience. So there's, you should never be bored at home unless you've come to the library first, because we can give you probably something to keep you occupied that you would find enjoyable and pleasant to do. And so stop by and see us. We love to see new faces. We pride ourselves on being friendly and welcoming and kind, and love to see people come in and ask us, people come to fax, people come to use our computers, people come to because we have free Wi-Fi. We have hotspots that you can borrow. So there's all kinds of things that people don't maybe necessarily know that your public library can offer. And we're not unique in that. Public libraries across the country are doing all of those same things. We like to think we do it best.
Of course.
Because we're local and we like our library here. We love our community, but yeah, it's there. Public library really is your best kept secret. And I keep reading. I'm a kind of a sucker for the economy's getting worse. Where can you save money? And so I read all of those articles every time I see one, and every single time using your public library is mentioned. I've never read one, use coupons, do this, do that, use your public library. Cancel your streaming services because you can't afford them. Use what we have at the library. We still have movies on DVD. We are still buying them. We still have audiobooks if you're an old school, want to listen to it with a CD player. There's no reason to spend money that you need to save for something else, because the library can help provide that for you. And happy to talk to anybody about that.
Sounds great. Lori Durbin, it's always a pleasure to get a chance to talk to you and
to see you.
Thanks so much for coming in this morning.
My pleasure.
People get out to the library. They have more than you can imagine for people to do. And as you said, if people are bored at home, you've got something that will keep them occupied.
We've got something. We absolutely do. And plus, you just come in and, chat with somebody a little bit and get a friendly smile and, get out of the house for a little while.
Yeah.
So,
awesome. Sounds good. Here's the news, everybody. Tree Country 1330 WTRE.